Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you are, and welcome to Dreamy Dreamland with Sensei Alba. I am your sensei, and as agreed, I'm here to tell you a story. Don't believe a word I say. I had a good night's sleep, and I woke up to John, who didn't. And it's sad. Another one of my old haunts. And true to form in the city of Roanoke, the food is hard to pour. Hey, Lindsay. So it's sad. Is Anthony Colchian the people's saint of truth? I coined him as Plato's canary in the coal mine. And so are we all. And, I could have started the camera running and capturing his outburst, but no, we're not going to do that. At the best, it's Freud and China. If it could help the audience empathize and not judge him, I may do it, but I won't. I've been here since 2 weeks before Thanksgiving, not at John's, but in Roanoke. And John isn't the only person, isn't an outlier, pretty much. That's everyone. I'm watching everyone go through some form of this. And myself, all I can do is go, Our Father who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name, thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses as we forgive those who trespass against us, and lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. So that's what we have to do, deliver us from evil, and it's all around. And it's not the devil, it's not some scary boogeyman. Yes, there is a presence of the paranormal, but we are the deciders. We decide what's going on, and it's up to us to deal with the issue. It's up to us to be there for our fellow man. That's what's going to heal this earth, is love's co-creation, not some ego hero. So here I am, right, talking about what's going on, and I watch and observe. And I look at what's going on, and I say, why is this? Why is
Millions shouldn't be able to buy or living. It's time to shine a light on dark money and politicians who are lying to stop millionaires from rigging the system and put power back in the hands of the people once and for all. Join us.
Join us. Let's make money out of your fear.
A market in northern France. Ibrahim says business is slow, while petrol prices and bills are high, but he works hard to get a sale.
What I do I started to feel the price going up just 2 months. But before it, just a little bit. But now it's very, for me, it's not easy,
Household energy bill rises have been capped. France's largely state-owned nuclear giant EDF has had to take a financial hit. Lower-income families are also one of payments. I've been heating the house this winter, so the bill has gone up. With the energy voucher, I got €100 off the bill. Prices have gone up, so I still pay more even with the voucher.
Danger, warning, Will Robinson, warning! How are you?
Robin Williams.
That'd be some great ads. Will the side effects be included? Well, you know that you're going to have all the phone commercials next to all the food commercials. They'll follow the pot commercial with chocolate.
This is Morgan.
If you thought you enjoyed cartoons before,
A kind of
we would show us the people
what's going on.
I think people stop taking find something illegal, not to have something worse to do. Crystal man, that's a people that look like they're.
Here's what David Icke said. I didn't want to play David Icke. So 10 in the morning here.
So the community. This great phrase, necessity is the mother of invention, has come to mind so many times in this last 2 years, because the human mind, the human heart, has such ability to tap into creativity, to
Close your eyes.
see other ways of doing things.
Feel deep
That
into the world view.
dependency, not just, funnily enough, financial dependency on the system,
The
but
conversation
perceptual dependency
and David Icke.
has stopped happening. I'll give you an example. I've spoken at the Oxford Union a few times, not for a long time, but for a few times. The Debating Society at Oxford University. And you turn up and they give you a bit of a meal beforehand at a local hotel, and you go and debate. And there were some students sitting around the table where I'm sitting this student. And there was one kid, he was only a teenager, and he could not comprehend any society that was hierarchical in nature. Couldn't comprehend it. I can't see how it could be done without hierarchy and work. And what he had was perceptual dependency on the system. It had programmed him, and so many people programmed him to believe that the system's way and the system's structure is the only way it can be done. And what's happening now
So Lynn,
as
Jamie, what do you think is going
people's
on?
ability to operate in the system becomes challenged, they're having to
Obviously, there's
look
somebody
at ways
playing,
of doing
right?
things. And this is starting, it's only starting, but it can run very fast. It's starting to trigger this innate, untapped, locked away creativity and ingenuity that humans have in abundance. And so we can take this creative destruction and we can take it in another direction if we choose. And I'm absolutely, and always have been, center of devolution of power to communities, to the individual. I'm not talking about devolution to Scotland and Wales, that kind of devolution. I mean devolution of power to the individual and to the community. So the community decides what happens to the community. The individual decides what happens to the individual's life. And therefore has freedom of choice to go where they want to go, rather than a top-down hierarchy telling them where they're going to go. You know, this end of this structure, while they want to put an even more tyrannical structure in place, in this state of flux at the moment, we can intervene as a human race, or large numbers of us, and take this in another direction. But to do that, we've got to free ourselves of this perceptual dependency on the system, in that we see the system's falling down. Yeah, mate, that's the system that put you in a hovel. That's the system that has screwed you for your life. That's the system that stopped your children going to bed without being hungry. This system needs to go. What it doesn't need to do is be replaced by the Great Bloody Reset, which is even more tyrannical than this one. So we have an opportunity to take it in another direction. And, you know, people, once they free themselves from this perceptual dependency, say, well, hold on a minute. Are there other ways of living our lives? Are there other ways of doing things? Oh my God, there are. And the more that you can give power to individuals and power to communities, the better. Because it's a simple equation. I've talked about this so many times. If the few are going to control the many, they can only do it in two ways. Controlling the perceptions of the many so that the many behave as the few want. And two, they have to center. U.S. residents born before 1956 are getting a huge savings boost. Right? The reason I don't think that is the right reading is that almost every ancestral narrative concerning the origins of our civilization begin with a planet that is flooded, shrouded in darkness, which is I say the restate Indian stories which begin with the sky people to the flood waters, then have to be separated using water seas and wind. You go to the Philippines and you've got stories of the Tagalog hawk hovering over the flood waters, using its wings to create water seas to begin clearing land so that the planet can be terraformed. You listen to the people of Nigeria, and they talk about the son of Wa, the almighty one above the waters, who arrives and begins terraforming. You listen to the story of the arrival of Viracocha, the waters of Lake Titicaca. It's the same thing. Now here in Genesis, we have the arrival of the Ruach. And again, the root meaning of that word implies something that creates a wind. That is the story of terraforming around the planet. So that's why I'm confident that the order of sentences in Genesis is quite correct. Our memories do begin on a planet that is flooded and chaotic. The phrase in the Hebrew, tohu wabohu, implies the planet has been devastated by cataclysm. And that is when the powerful ones show up. These correlations among ancient narratives in which our cultural memory begins on a flooded and devastated planet hint at the possibility that these stories have their roots in the ancestral memory of Earth's most recent planetary cataclysm, the global impact of the Clovis comet, an extinction level event, along with the trauma of the Younger Dryas cold period from 12,800 have caused sky fires, rapid freezing, and immense tsunamis on a global scale. Other anomalies in the stories of Genesis raise questions about the departure of Homo sapiens from the array of other hominids occupying planet Earth in the distant past. From Genesis 2, then the Lord God formed a human from the dust of the ground and breathed in his nostrils the breath of life. Then the human became a living being. The Lord took the human and put him in the enclosure at Eden as a worker and caretaker. Then the Lord God said, "It is not good that the man is alone. I will make a suitable cover for him." The Lord God had formed out of the ground wild animals and all of the sky. God brought them to the human, but for the human no suitable helper was found. So the Lord God put the human into a deep sleep, and while in this deep sleep, God removed part of the human side and closed up the wound with flesh. And from the extracted part, the Lord God made a female. The human said, "This is bone from my bone, flesh from my flesh." Well, it's curious, isn't it, that the creation of the female species is an afterthought. That's how it appears in the way the story is translated at the moment. How would an almighty God lead us out? What is going on, guys? It is Adam McKay Marf, and today's show is going to be packed. We have, of course, talking about how Putin just grabbed his $100 million yacht out of Germany and hightailed with it. For some reason, he was in much of a hurry. So we'll talk about that and everything going on, including 40 satellites dying into the sky because of a geostorm. And we have more on the way. Right back, right after this. Nothing in the show should be considered legal, medical, or financial advice. The views of the callers can differ considerably and do not necessarily reflect my opinion, Tex's opinion, or anyone else who works with the show. You should always do your own research and consult with professionals. The internet is full of fake news, so please take everything with a grain of salt. If you have not already, it helps us out if you end up going through our affiliates, and it helps you out if you end up protecting yourself against cybercrime. NordVPN is one of the best. What if they are trying to launch it before? Because they don't want those sensors up. Of these 49 Starlink satellites were sensors. They have told us that out in the public that these were going to start to get these sensors. So a lot said there. And then, of course, also there was the option that this was a genuine, the solar storm that we know happened knocked out several satellites. Did it affect other satellites if they're not saying anything? I always have questions about that. It says Elon Musk SpaceX said it lost up to 40 Starlink satellites that launched into orbit last week because of a geomagnetic storm. The aerospace company sent 49 Starlink satellites into low Earth orbit on Thursday via Falcon 9 rocket. About 80 of those 80% of those satellites were significantly impacted by a geomagnetic storm.
Hey, Lana.
Geomagnetic storms are triggered by disturbances between Earth's magnetic field and charged particles from the sun, known as solar winds, according to the Space Weather Prediction Center. The speed and intensity of the storm caused atmospheric drag to climb to levels 50% higher than previous launches. SpaceX said in a statement that made it harder for the satellites to reach their orbital position. So this was affecting millions and millions of dollars worth of stuff. This is another thing that people don't realize. Like, what if this was a bigger storm? What if it was more angled towards us? And of course, Earth, we could lose all communication satellites. We could lose all GPS. We could lose all cell phone communications. This is something that preppers have been preparing for years. Anybody in my audience probably knows a little bit about this. But there
Up at the
are
school.
new cycles and people following and science is switching over to
Animals
different
have
theories
left.
about how to predict this sort of weather.
Everything is
And some say that we are in for possibly the worst sun weather we've ever seen and the most unpredictable solar storms ever. Your 22-year cycle. So over 400 years, they've tracked different things, and they're looking at a 22-year cycle. And even some people I've talked to said that is now what the White House is leaning into. So again, we can't back up that the White House has changed from the 11-year cycle to the 22-year cycle, but we can confirm that it's now saying it makes more sense than the 11-year cycle. And if it's true, they will actually make sense a lot of how they put out why they would be able to predict these big events. So if these big events happen again in 2023 through 2025, we could have a very, very incredible set of events not wrong.
What I'm going to do.
That is why the previous president ended up starting to do contracts with companies like EMP Shield and put protections in. We don't know. Again, there's a lot of stuff that is not totally public. We will not be told about this until last minute, like most everything else. Trudy Svensson, thanks Adam and Dex. We appreciate you and are thankful that you are healthy. Much love. Trudy, thank you, and I appreciate that. Thank you for the positive thoughts. Alan, thank you for subscribing. Kelly McKinney, Sheldon, thank you for subscribing as well. Kenny Camps, thanks for being one of the last ones out. I hope your channel is doing well. James Fox as well, thank you. Roy D Live, thank you since you were popping in early in the show. Says going to crash. I'll catch the replay. Hope you are feeling better. Thanks everything, Dex, mods, wives, and Googles. Thanks to people, and I appreciate you taking the time to stop by. And then I love Jesus forever. Hey, thank you for the diamonds over on D Live. Maui Racing Realtor, thank you for being loyal.
Here I am, sitting outside. Is this any better than the cacophony of the chattering, mindless cars are going by, the drone of the exhaust? It's like I'm caught between a rock and a hard place. If I'm up at the school, John comes down and is extremely violent to himself because he's screaming about who he hates and who he wants to kill, and all he's doing is hating himself and killing himself, and it's sad to watch. Even though I can intellectually realize that he is just the metaphor of the society around us. I started this show off with that cacophony and the news in the background and that blah, 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 blah. And the car noise and the drone of the exhaust, it's like you can't escape it. You can't get away from it. It's like constantly there. Now, I can go into state and let go of it all. Last night's show, I was Cell, and it's quiet there and it's warm there. But at that time of evening, not many people, unless people do come, there's nobody there. And every time I sit down to write, John comes. It's like he realizes my mind is open and thinking, and comes down and just goes after it. And so that's why I had to leave the Hill. And I used to hang out at this place, and again, the food is like dreck. $5 for a little croissant that they probably got at Walmart's. It's like it's truly unbelievable, right? still have a few things I want to deal with, tie the strings up so I don't have to come back here. And but John's not the only person, you know. I mean, I see it all around. You know, this town. I've been away from it for 3 years, and the potholes are worse. They've done nothing to fix anything. They've spent billions for renewal, and it's not so renewed. It's I said, I'm looking forward to getting back to the deep green. And you know, that adage, wherever you go, there you are, is true. You know, and so it's not like I can, you know, run off to any place and it'll be better or different. I mean, the deep green is definitely better and different and green, but it too is suffering. You know, I've been there for 20 years, and it was so out there in the middle of nowhere, surrounded by the accordion of the Sawtooth Mountains range that is squeezed between the Blue Ridge and the Appalachian. And I was 30 miles to any place, and there was no internet and no blah, blah, blah. And now the rich have come in and are buying up everything. And it's one of those things. And but I will take the piece of the earth and make it stronger. Right? That's what I do in my heart right now. With prayer, I say to you all, Our Father who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. That name is work in progress, and that's what we are. And we have a great opportunity, meaning I try not to be dour and sad and sardonic, because there is a great opportunity here. You know, if we can step up and be better and do better, this world will be amazing. I mean, this world is amazing. It is the garden of paradise. You know, through our sorrow and misgiving and our ego, we lessen it. With our generosity, grace, and hospitality, we make it better. And in every day and every way, we can take the piece of the earth and make it stronger. You know, and I watch people go on and on about wars and rumors of war, and you know, a friend of mine sent me a picture. They were flying into L.A. and they came over the port of L.A. and there were boats as far as you could see out into the ocean, meaning supply line is being strangled on purpose. All of this is being done on purpose to just, I live like a millionaire on $400 a month. How? I don't have the money to spend it on stuff. I just pay for what I need when I have the cash. And, it's truly surreal, Anyway, I'm going to move on, and I'll pop up again, and you guys need to talk to each other and see how you can reach out to each other. Cold. Can't read it. It's too bright in here. I'm out here. But yes, if you want to put anything in my, or if you know another payment system that's better than PayPal, PayPal, it seems to work. The people who put money in there every month, they can do it. Other people do it. I don't know really what the issue is with PayPal. But it's anything in the corporate structure is an issue, no matter what platform you're on. We should make our own platform, Back in the day when we were, homesteading the South Bronx, Lower East Side, Brownsville, we, there were no banks, there were no restaurants, there were no stores. So we gardened, and our gardens grew into 1,900 gardens around New York City. Our gardens turned into the gardens that are in all of the New York City public schools, and that is where the kids are getting fresh vegetables. That's something we did, and we started out with about 12 people, right? Our credit union, we started because there were no banks. Everything was redlined. We started a credit union with 18 of us, each, taking $100 and starting it. And now that credit union, at least when I went back in 2011, credit union had $1 billion in excess of assets, and those assets were investment in people's businesses and homes and college educations. I mean, these things can be done. If a chucklehead like me can do this with the outreach of other folks, and those other folks on the show, we talked, right? And a number of people have said, "Oh, that person sounds so snooty, blah blah blah." They think they know. No, everyone's a human being, good, bad, ugly, right? And I always go for the best. And yes, everyone has an issue that could rub me the wrong way. Look at John, really. But I use my 3 rules, doctor, do no harm. Don't get involved without a workable exit strategy where you're going in to help the innocent get out of harm's way. And it's difficult because the innocent is John, and the harm's way is John. That's a real quandary. And the one is get involved unless you can learn something. And that's why I'm back here for the Old College Try, because that is such a interesting question. The greatest harm is done by ourselves. So how do we get ourselves out of that harm's way? That's really interesting. So that's where I'm looking at. That's what I am trying to deal with. That's what I'm trying to understand. And I've written a great deal about it, and I am heading back into the deep green to regenerate, and I'm going to wait as long as I can until it is warmer and warmer. This week has definitely been the warmest week so far. It's been in the 50s during the days and in the 30s at nights, and so that is something I can deal with. And so next week, hopefully, it'll be even warmer, and the week after that, and that's about when I'm planning to go. So that's it. I bought $200 worth of food, and I want to cook that up always next week and share it with John and leave a bunch of John and go from there. So that's where I'm looking to be, and I love you all. And the next place I stop at that has Wi-Fi, I will try it again in about an hour or two. Okay? See you later.